Hello and welcome to part 2 of Parenting and Co-Parenting. Today we are going to be talking about co-parenting within the same walls or separate. This is Monique, my partner in crime for this. I'm Brian, as everybody knows. If you have any questions during any of this, just make sure you email us, use our Facebook page, Twitter, text us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible with answers. Otherwise, enjoy. So parenting's not always easy in the best of times, but now that we're in COVID-19, it's just that little bit more difficult, especially for those of you that have school-age children working from home, or having children with you while you're working, keeping up with the house, or having children going from one house to another for those who are sharing custody. These are only a few of the things that are happening that you may be going through, and hopefully we have some ideas to help that.
For a two-parent family, we're not always together for an entire day, let alone 3 months. We can trip over each other, become annoyed with each other more quickly, etc. So it's very important that we help one another by giving space, having specific chores that we shared, helping with the children, and having downtime for ourselves, where there are little to no distractions.
And now you're trying to figure out how can you do this? It's not easy, but maybe these are some tips and tricks that you can use to go about your day and maybe a little bit more relaxing. So it may sound a bit trivial, but things that we do around the house can take a lot of time. We trip over each other all the time. We thought someone did one thing. We may have done another. Who knows? So create a simple chore list. What you do all week. It doesn't really matter. Just list all the chores that have to get done. If you're a two-parent family, you have children that are old enough that can help, then everyone does maybe a small chore a day. So everything gets done on a weekly basis, but you're only doing one small chore a day. Pick one, check it off, and it's off your list. You have no more worries. And remember, if your child can help, have them do so. You can even make games to help your children clean up. Assign points for different things that they need to pick up. They love to win, so you kind of make sure that they get the 2-point toys or the 2-point things that they have to pick up and put away. There doesn't have to be rewards for them. You can build some in if you want. Everything's done, let's go for a freezie. Let's go for a walk to the park. Don't call them rewards though, just job well done, let's do this. The more you praise, the more you hug, the more they're willing to help with these daily chores. If you find them that they're very much of a chore, what do you think your children are going to find?
Exactly.
They're going to be, no, I don't want to do this. I'm getting up again. I want to be on my tablet, whatever else.
Yeah.
But they will engage and help you with the chores if you make it fun, if you praise, if you hug.
Absolutely. So make sure you have family playtime, one-on-one playtime as well as alone time. This alone time is more difficult for one parent family, but try to find times to do so. Build this into your daily schedule so as a routine can take place and all involved will become more accustomed to it. Remember that if you are consistently changing things up, it can bring on anxiety and what you may think is negative behavior in your partner or children.
When you are a one-parent family, when are those times that you should be taking to yourself? Because it's very hard.
Yeah. So I'd say if the children are young and they're napping in the afternoon, have some alone time, just listen to maybe some music that you enjoy. If you want to watch a show,
it's a perfect opportunity to watch a show.
Yeah, and or at night when they finally settle. Sometimes we're so exhausted that we just want to go to bed ourselves. But it is important, even if it's 15 minutes, take that time for yourself. It's re-energizing.
Definitely energizing yourself for further tasks and chores and issues.
Yeah.
However, remember, do not stay up too late yourself, you do have another day coming when you wake up in the morning. If you wake up tired, you're already going to wake up grumpy, frustrated, annoyed. You're going to more easily pop your bubble. So keep a routine for yourself when you're doing alone time at night. Yes, you can take an hour, but make sure you're in bed in good time so that you are capable of performing the next day.
There's nothing wrong with going to bed early, just after the kids, a few nights a week, and it gives you a good night rest if the kids are sleeping through the night. So having an early bedtime has nothing wrong with it.
No, definitely not, because you may even wake up in the morning and have an hour to yourself before the children wake up.
There you go. There you go.
Enjoy your coffee.
Oh, yes, we want to enjoy our coffee. Ideas for playtime can be as simple as going outside, rolling around in the grass, turning on the hose and playing in the water, sing-alongs that I enjoy, board games, cards, or simple made-up trivia. Trivia questions that your children know the answer to. So it's all about fun and togetherness. And one-on-one time can, similar to the ones mentioned before, can also include walks, story time, maybe some TV or screen time. Think about things that are at no cost or very little cost.
Right now with COVID going on, there's not a lot of things that may be open that you can actually go in and enjoy. You can't really be safe distancing and go walking in a mall or window shopping, but you can walk up and down some of the streets that do have outdoor shops just to do some window shopping. While you're walking, you can point out the colors of the trees, the color of the sky or the grass. Just have those small general conversations with your children as you're walking. This can really improve your one-on-one time, the enjoyment, less behaviors distributed or displayed. Take the opportunity, run with it, have fun.
Absolutely.
Create games on your own. We all have wonderful imaginations, and if we squash ours, we're going to squash our children's, and let them have imagination. Let them come up with a game.
Yeah.
It may be as simple as an I Spy game, but let them start. One-on-one time is a fantastic time to have with your children.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, things as simple as, I remember with my kids, counting how many yellow cars we saw, trying to guess the sound of the bird that you are hearing. There's so many things that just use your imagination or let your children's imagination run wild. They're pretty creative as well.
They are definitely creative. And speaking of creativity, while you're on your walks, look for things for arts and crafts. There's pine cones, there's leaves, there's a bunch of different things out there that you can bring home with you, do some arts and crafts with, proudly display them on the fridge or on a table or somewhere where the children and you are seeing them. Praise them for the work that they're doing, because as I said earlier, praise, hugs, number one thing to help raise your child's self-esteem and self-worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And alone time, simply be reading a book if you wanted to. You can watch your children play one-on-one on their own, and you're just reading a book and lifting your eyes up and watching them play and going back to the pages of your book. Try to stay off screen time during this time in case they want your attention, because if you're in the middle of playing a game, guess what? It's going to be disturbed. And you don't want your children pulling on your pant legs trying to get your attention because you're trying to finish a game or on your phone. So when you are giving them your attention, give them your 100% attention during one-on-one time, during family time, whatever you're doing, and it's including them. Try to give them the one-on-one attention 100% of the time. If your child's going from one caregiver to another due to custody agreements, try to make the transition as smooth as possible. In all of these situations, or many of the situations anyways, children experience different types of anxiety in the best of times, but with COVID-19, there may be issues or strains on your relationship with the ex, things that you don't really want to make present in front of your children, but you have to attempt to have a smile, especially during transitions times. This is not the time to be talking about your differences. If this is a case and you attempt to keep your feelings or disagreements away from your children, make sure they're not even in earshot. But you could always have like a logbook. You have a disagreement, you have something, you can write everything in a logbook. And you, instead of talking about these things that you disagree upon, write them down. That way you also have time to think about them. What's the reality of it? Is there truth to it? Is there something similar going on with you maybe that you just don't want to discuss? But if you did, these disagreements could end even more quickly. Your children's anxiety will go down during these handoff times. Your children will want to go to your place. They will want to go to the other place. Try to find a colleague or a friend that you can talk to about these issues outside of your children's presence. Don't bash your ex. Don't bash your present either. If you're a two-parent family, you don't want to bash them either, especially in front of your children when you're living together. But try to find some neutral ground with somebody else to talk to, rather than talking or arguing back and forth with one another. Try to have discussions around what your daily routines are like, what your bedtime routines are like, what your screen times are like, so that maybe both parents in different homes can somewhat follow the same type of rules and routines. This does make it easier for your child as well. They know what to expect. They'll less likely attempt to play one parent off of another if you're both consistent. When you're coming to meal times, you want to be consistent as well, because if at mom's your child eats at 11:30 in the morning for lunch because there's things they do in the afternoon, you don't want to push lunch off till 2 o'clock in the afternoon because you're doing something in the morning. So you want times to be very similar. Does it have to be exact? No. Do they have to be similar? It is best for the child if they are.
Absolutely. And so like we were saying, things that you may disagree or things that you may disagree on should not be discussed in front of the child, for this will increase their anxiety and may create negative behaviors. Children understand and hear a lot more than you know, and this will stress their this will add stress to their little lives. Hearing bad things about their other parent, whom they also love, is confusing, distressing, and scary. So instead of blaming one another for things that may be out of your control, try to ease your child's feeling by positively figuring out what went wrong.
Oh, exactly. So if you're doing a handoff, or one parent is supposed to be at a location because for a pickup,
Right?
and they're late. One of the common reactions that I see a lot or hear of a lot is, they're late again. But does that really have to come out of your mouth? Do you really have to say that?
No, because that's your feeling. That's how you're feeling. The child doesn't really.
No time.
Right. As long as the parent shows up,
Yeah.
right? And if the parent doesn't show up, just try to ease your child's mind by saying
Something must have happened.
Something must have happened.
Or they're late.
Right.
Let's
right.
phone them later to
let's
see
try
what's
to figure
happening.
It out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you both love your child, and you each want what is best. Your child is made from both of you, which means that they have good inside that you both possess.
So remember, they take the best of you. They take the best of the other.
Yeah.
It's combined within them. So if you foster it, what type of child are you going to raise? Someone who has the best of both of you.
Right.
Although you may do things differently, there's more than one way to raise a child. This you have to really remember. It is not textbook. We all have different skills, and we're all trying our best at what we have. So remember to choose your battles carefully when you're tempted to judge, react, or disagree. This does not just go with your child. This goes with your partner. This goes with your ex-partner. This includes your parents, anyone who's in your extended family. Don't judge. It'll ease your anxieties if you don't. It'll lower your stress if you don't. And it will create a happier child, which in turn will create less stress for you, less anxiety for you, less frustration when dealing with behaviors. And speaking of behaviors, remember one other thing. Are they really misbehaving, or are they bored? They don't know what to do with themselves. Their routines are too repetitive. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, every day is craft time. Well, what if I don't want to do craft every day?
Yeah, you may not feel like it.
What if I'm tired?
Exactly.
What if I want to go ahead and play for that half hour instead? So routines are great, but be flexible with what you can do within those routines. So it doesn't have to be arts and crafts at 1 every day. It can be arts and crafts today, or better yet, ask your child, what do you want to do for this hour? There's some things we can't do. I have laundry in, or someone's coming over to fix something, whatever it is. But let's change things up. Let's be creative. Let's try to have some fun. COVID-19 won't last forever. It's going to feel like it is. But we have to do things with what we have. And the more we can make the best of it, the easier it is on all of us.
Right. And the better we adjust, the better our kids will adjust.
Definitely.
It's not easy. Nobody said it was easy.
Parenting's not easy, especially during these times.
Right.
So if you have any questions, feel free to respond through email, text, Facebook, Twitter, whatever suits your fancy. We will try to answer them as quickly as possible. Thank you for tuning in. And next week we will give you some more tips and tricks on another area of parenting and co-parenting.
Take care.